There's a secret rhythm to the gardening year, a pulse that many miss in the frantic rush of spring planting and the fatigue of abundant summer harvests. Just as the world seems to be drawing in, taking a deep, golden breath before winter, the most strategic gardening window of the entire year swings wide open. Welcome, my friend, to the October garden. This is a time for secret planting, for tucking treasures into the still warm soil that will reward you with resilience, flavor, and a staggering return on investment. This is your guide to that secret garden. We're about to explore 25 vegetables that don't just survive an October planting, they absolutely thrive because of it. Garlic. Let's begin with what might just be the king of the autumn garden, garlic. Planting garlic in October feels like an act of faith, a secret whispered to the soil. Here's the magic. You're giving the cloves weeks, sometimes months, of quiet darkness to establish a powerful root system before the ground truly freezes. While the world sleeps, your garlic is getting ready, warming up for a spectacular spring debut. Come summer, when others are just thinking about planting theirs, you'll be lifting fat, papery heads of garlic with a flavor so profound and complex, it will ruin you for the bland, imported bulbs at the supermarket. And the cycle still doesn't end there, because you can save your biggest and best heads to plant again next October. The ritual is simple. Plant each clove about 4 inches deep, pointy end up, and 6 inches apart in a sunny spot with well-drained soil. Tuck them in and let nature do the rest. Fava beans. If you think beans are strictly a summer affair, prepare to have your mind blown by the magnificent fava bean. These robust, cold-hearted legumes aren't just tolerant of an October planting, they actively require a period of cold to produce their best yield. Sowing them in October allows them to develop strong roots and, in milder climates, even a bit of top growth before winter's harshest grip. Then they simply wait. As the first feeble rays of late winter sun gain strength, your fava beans will leap into action, growing with a vigor that defies the chill in the air. You'll be harvesting plump green pods in May, long before any snap bean would even consider germinating. Want some gardening tips? Well, here goes. Plant the large seeds about 3 inches deep and 6 inches apart, and provide some simple support for them as they grow tall in the spring. Cabbage. Let's talk about a vegetable that has genuinely saved me hundreds of dollars on winter groceries, the heroic cabbage. While seeding cabbage in October might be late for some, planting sturdy, well-established transplants is a genius move. That single, unassuming plant you put in the ground now has the potential to grow into a colossal, dense head, weighing anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds. Yep, you heard just right. Do the math with me, will you? A single head of organic cabbage can easily cost $4 to $6 in the dead of winter. Your one transplant, which might have cost you a couple of dollars, can therefore yield $30 or more worth of groceries. That's the genius of October-planted cabbages, but we're done just yet. With a thick layer of mulch around the base, many cold-tolerant varieties can sit in the garden through frosts and snow, essentially storing themselves alive until you're ready to harvest. Parsnips. Parsnips are the patient gardener's reward, and October is their perfect planting time. Unlike many vegetables, parsnips are not just cold-tolerant, they are cold-dependent for developing their best flavor. They grow slowly through the autumn, but their true transformation begins with the first hard frosts. The freezing temperatures trigger a miraculous process within the root. Starches are converted into natural sugars as a kind of antifreeze. The result? A vegetable that, when harvested after weeks of cold weather, is unbelievably sweet, nutty, and complex. Absolutely nothing like the sometimes woody or bland parsnips you might find in stores. Sow the seeds directly into loose, deep soil about ½ inch deep. Be patient with germination, as it can be slow. The wait, though, is worth it. Shallots. Shallots are the secret ingredient for making everyday meals feel elegant, and growing your own is both incredibly easy and economical. In the store, they command quite the price, but in the garden they grow with the effortless grace of their allium family relative, garlic. Planting individual shallot bulbs in October follows the same brilliant logic. Each bulb you nestle into the soil about 2 inches deep will spend the winter establishing itself. Come spring and early summer, it will have multiplied, forming a tight cluster of 6 to 8 new, perfectly formed shallots where there once was one. They cure beautifully and can be stored for months in a cool, dry place, ensuring your culinary creations are always elevated. Kale. If you've only ever tasted kale from a supermarket bag, you're in for a life-altering treat with homegrown, October-planted kale. Summer heat can stress kale, making it tough and sometimes bitter. But kale grown in the cooling days of autumn undergoes a miraculous metamorphosis. The cool weather, and most importantly, the frosts, work their magic on the leaves. Just like with parsnips, the cold triggers the conversion of starches to sugars, resulting in leaves that are tender, sweet, and almost buttery. A far cry from the fibrous greens you buy in the supermarket. A single plant, harvested by picking the lower leaves first, can produce continuously for 6 to 8 months, providing an unbelievable return on the space it occupies. At $5 a bunch in stores, this is a no-brainer for both your palate and your wallet. What more could you want? Leeks. Leeks are the gentle giants of the onion family, offering a mild, sweet, and complex flavor that forms the backbone of countless winter comfort dishes. They are also phenomenally expensive to buy, which makes growing them out back a much smarter option, especially with an October head start. By planting leek transplants or starts now, you give them a much-needed period to establish themselves. They are remarkably cold-hardy, often unfazed by temperatures as low as 15 degrees Fahrenheit. They will grow slowly through the winter, waiting patiently for you to harvest them. How about some planting tips? Place the seed potatoes in a trench about 6 inches deep. As the plants grow, gradually mound soil around the stems to cover them. This is quite important. Winter lettuce. The idea of harvesting fresh, crisp lettuce in the depths of January sounds like a fantasy to most, but with the right varieties and an October planting, it is entirely within your grasp. And here's how. For starters, we're not talking about delicate summer butter crunch here, but rugged, cold-adapted varieties with names that hint at their prowess. Arctic King, North Pole, and Winter Density. Sown in October, these lettuces establish strong rosettes before the days become too short and cold. The real key is a simple season-extending tool like a cold frame or a layer of floating row cover. This protection is enough to keep them alive and harvestable. There is something almost magical about walking out on a bright, cold winter day, brushing a dusting of snow off your cold frame, and using scissors to cut a fresh, vibrant head of lettuce for your lunch. The flavor is sweet and clean, a world away from the tired, plastic-clad greens shipped from thousands of miles away. Spinach. Spinach is the definition of a strategic autumn crop. Sown in October, it takes advantage of the last warmth in the soil to germinate quickly and put on a few inches of growth. Then, as the days shorten and the cold sets in, it essentially pauses. Here's where it gets intriguing because while people think differently, it doesn't die. No, it just waits. Beneath the snow or under a layer of mulch, your October spinach hunkers down. Then, at the first elusive hint of spring, long before it's safe to plant anything else, it explodes. You can be harvesting armfuls of the sweetest, most tender spinach leaves you've ever tasted in March or early April, a time when store-bought spinach is at its most expensive and least flavorful. Scatter the seeds about 2 inches apart in rows, cover lightly, and water. It's a small effort for a massive early season payoff. Collards. A cornerstone of Southern cuisine, collard greens are a force to be reckoned with in the autumn garden. These large, sturdy blue-green leaves are not just heat-tolerant, they are famously cold-hardy. Planting collards from transplants in October gives them time to size up into robust plants that will then stand tall in your garden through the winter. What's more, you can harvest the large outer leaves throughout the cold months and the plant will continue to produce from the center. They are incredibly nutritious, versatile in the kitchen, braised, steamed, or added to soups, and a single plant provides a huge amount of food. Carrots. While carrots can be planted in spring for a summer harvest, there is something truly special about an October-sown crop. Much like parsnips, carrots undergo a sweetening process when exposed to cold. The sugars that develop act as a natural antifreeze, protecting the root from freezing solid. This means that carrots pulled from your garden after a few frosts will be crisper, sweeter, and more flavorful than any you can buy. Sow seeds now, about 1/4 of an inch deep, in loose, stone-free soil. They will germinate and establish a good size before winter truly sets in. Apply a thick 12-inch layer of straw or leaves over the carrot bed once the ground has begun to freeze. Try varieties like Napoli or Bolero for excellent winter hardiness. Arugula. Arugula is a leafy green that simply cannot handle the heat of summer. It bolts almost immediately, turning unpleasantly bitter and pungent. But in the cool, moist days of autumn, it becomes a completely different plant. October-planted arugula grows steadily, producing deeply lobed, tender leaves with a perfect spicy peppery kick that elevates any salad or pizza. It is a cut-and-come-again champion, meaning you can harvest the outer leaves repeatedly, and the plant will keep producing from the center for weeks, if not months. Economically, it's a powerhouse. Those small plastic clamshells of arugula at the grocery store are expensive and often wilt within days. Swiss chard. If you're looking for a vegetable that is both breathtakingly beautiful and nearly indestructible, well, the Swiss chard is your answer. Planted in October, chard will produce a fantastic harvest of leaves and stems through the fall. While it may slow down in the deepest winter, it is remarkably cold tolerant and in many climates will survive to bounce back with explosive vigor at the first sign of spring. In mild winter areas, it will produce year-round. The economics are straightforward. One packet of seeds gives you dozens of plants. Each plant, if you harvest the outer leaves, can produce for up to 2 years. Compare that to buying bunches at the store for $3 or $4 each. But beyond the practicality, there is the sheer joy of growing varieties like Bright Lights or Rainbow, whose stems glow in vibrant shades of yellow, orange, pink, and crimson, making your autumn garden a work of art. Onion sets. For those in milder climates or gardeners willing to use a protective mulch, October is the perfect time to get a massive head start on next year's onion crop. Planting onion sets, those small, dormant onion bulbs, now allows them to establish a root system before winter. They go dormant during the coldest months, but they are poised and ready the moment daylight hours increase in spring. The result? You will be harvesting full-sized cured onions in late spring or early summer, months before spring-planted onions have even bulbed up. Plant them about 2 inches deep and 4 inches apart in well-drained soil. A layer of straw mulch after the first hard freeze will protect them from heaving through freeze-thaw cycles. This simple act in October means you'll have a pantry full of homegrown, storage onions by the time everyone else is just planting theirs. Asian greens. This is a category that truly comes into its own in the cool weather of autumn. Bok choy, tatsoi, mizuna, and mustard greens all struggle and bolt quickly in summer heat, but plant them in October and they thrive, growing quickly and offering a stunning array of textures, colors, and flavors to your kitchen. Bok choy provides a juicy, crisp crunch for stir-fries. Tatsoi forms beautiful dark green spoon-shaped leaves in a rosette pattern. Mizuna offers a mild peppery bite and frilly texture for salads. Mustard greens like ruby streaks or Osaka purple bring a spicy heat and stunning color. These greens are often expensive and delicate in stores, but they are incredibly easy and fast to grow from seed sown directly in the garden. You'll be harvesting in as little as 30 to 40 days, bringing diversity and gourmet flair to your autumn and winter meals. Daikon and winter radishes. Move beyond the small red salad radish. October is the time to plant winter radishes, which are a different experience altogether. Varieties like the long white Daikon, the dramatic black Spinach, or the stunning watermelon radish, green on the outside, bright pink on the inside, grow to a much larger size, store exceptionally well, and have complex, robust flavors. They are perfect for roasting, which mellows their sharpness and brings out their sweetness, or for pickling and adding to kimchi. A single Daikon radish can weigh over 2 pounds and would cost a few dollars at the farmer's market, but growing them from seed costs mere pennies. Sow the seeds half an inch deep and thin the seedlings to about 4 to 6 inches apart to give them room to expand. They are trouble-free and immensely rewarding. Mache. If you only discover one new vegetable from this list, let it be mache. This humble, low-growing green is the ultimate secret weapon for winter salads. It is unbelievably cold-hardy, capable of surviving under a blanket of snow and producing its small, tender rosettes of sweet, nutty-flavored leaves all winter long. It's a gourmet green that commands high prices in upscale grocery stores, but it is perhaps the easiest thing you can grow. Simply scatter the tiny seeds over a prepared bed in October, rake them in very lightly, and keep the area moist until they germinate. The best part? They require almost no care after that. You can harvest the whole rosette or just pick the leaves. It often self-seeds, giving you a permanent patch of winter greens for years to come. Claytonia. Here's another winter salad superstar. Claytonia is a North American native that is naturally adapted to cool, wet conditions. It forms charming circular leaves on delicate stems and produces small, edible white flowers. Its flavor is mild and slightly tangy, and it is packed with vitamin C. Like mache, it is incredibly cold-tolerant and prolific. It thrives in partial shade, making it perfect for planting under taller crops or in spots that don't get full sun. Once you plant it, it will happily self-sow and return year after year, providing a reliable and free source of fresh greens during the leanest months. Broccoli Raab. Also called rapini, broccoli Raab is a fast-growing, pungent green known for its bold, slightly bitter flavor that is a staple in Italian cooking. It is not a head-forming broccoli, but is grown for its leaves, buds, and slender stems. It thrives in cool weather and bolts in heat, making October an ideal planting time. You'll be harvesting in about 40 to 50 days, and it provides a fantastic, robust flavor for sautés, pasta dishes, and more. It's another crop that is often expensive and hard to find fresh, but is remarkably easy to grow from seed direct sown in the garden. Parsley. Often relegated to a simple garnish, parsley is in fact a gardening hero in its own right, and October is the perfect time to secure its services for the new year. Think of parsley not as an annual, but as a resilient biennial. By planting it now, either from seed or robust transplants, you are giving it a critical head start to develop a deep and substantial root system. This plant will then hunker down over the winter months, often surviving under a protective layer of snow or mulch, with its evergreen leaves still peeking through. Then, as the icy grip of winter loosens in early spring, when the garden is still mostly sleeping and your herb rack is looking barren, your parsley will be there, lush, vibrant, and ready to give your dishes a burst of fresh flavor. A few plants are all you need for a continuous supply, making this one of the most cost-effective and rewarding herbs to cultivate for year-round enjoyment. Endive and Escarole. Does your palate crave a bit of complexity? Then Endive and Escarole are non-negotiable additions to the October garden. These elegant, curly-edged greens are the foundation of classic, sophisticated salads, but their utility extends far beyond the raw, bringing a wonderful depth when wilted into soups or sautéed as a side dish. The secret to their autumn success is that cool weather is their preferred climate. The chilling temperatures of fall and winter actually work to mellow their inherent bitterness, creating a more balanced and nuanced flavor profile. They are exceptionally cold-hardy, often lasting deep into winter with minimal protection. Kohlrabi. Don't let its whimsical, otherworldly appearance fool you. Kohlrabi is one of the most delightful, easy, and productive vegetables you can plant in October. This member of the cabbage family does not form a head or a root, but rather a swollen, round stem that sits just above the soil line, looking like an alien spaceship that has landed in your vegetable patch. Beneath that unique exterior lies a crisp, juicy interior with a flavor that is a delightful cross between a sweet broccoli stem and a tender apple. Kohlrabi thrives in the cool weather of autumn, growing rapidly and developing its best, sweetest flavor when matured in the cold. It is remarkably frost-tolerant. This makes it an ideal candidate for successive harvests through late fall and early winter. The varieties are fun too, from the pale, elegant azure star to the vibrant violet Kohlrabi. Oyster leaf plant. Now for something truly extraordinary, a real conversation starter, the oyster leaf plant. This vegetable is quite the experience, and October is the best time to begin creating this experience. This low-growing, sprawling perennial is as beautiful as it is bizarre, with soft, silvery blue leaves that look like they belong in a coastal landscape. But the real magic happens when you pluck a leaf and taste it. The flavor is a stunning, clear note of the fresh, briny sea, reminiscent of oysters. Planting it in October allows the plant to focus on building a strong root system through the cool, moist seasons it loves. It prefers well-drained, even sandy soil, and will reward you for years to come with its unique harvest. Cover crops. While not a vegetable for your plate, sowing a cover crop in October is perhaps the single most strategic and forward-thinking action you can take for your garden's future fertility and your wallet. This is about feeding your soil so your soil can feed you. In any bed that is left empty after your summer harvest, don't leave it bare to be eroded by winter rains and winds. Instead, sow a generous blanket of seeds like winter rye, crimson clover, or hairy vetch. Their roots dive deep, breaking up compacted soil and drawing up nutrients. They prevent weeds from taking hold. Come spring, you simply cut them down and turn them into the soil, where they decompose and add rich organic matter. This one simple act in October reduces your need for bought fertilizers, improves your soil structure for years, and sets the stage for your most productive garden ever. Beets. We save one of the most versatile and reliable performers for last, the magnificent beet. Planting beets in October is a brilliant 2-for-1 deal that keeps on giving. The seeds, which are actually small seed clusters, will germinate happily in the warm soil and grow quickly in the cool autumn air. The roots develop a profound, earthy sweetness when kissed by frost, making them far superior in flavor to their summer-harvested counterparts. But while you're waiting for those ruby red, golden, or candy-striped roots to plump up, you get a second harvest, the greens. Beet greens are a delicious, nutrient-dense leafy green, perfect for sautéing or adding to salads, and they can be harvested sparingly without harming the developing root. From a single packet of seeds, you get a prolonged harvest of gourmet greens and a storage crop of sweet roots, making beets an unbeatable value and an essential pillar of the October garden. 25 opportunities, 25 secrets to a garden that doesn't end with the first fall of leaf, but one that transitions, adapts, and provides. So I hope you feel inspired to grab a packet of seeds or some transplants to feel the cool earth and to take part in this most rewarding of seasonal rituals. Well, tell us, which one of these are you planting this month? Don't forget to like and subscribe to get more garden secrets. Until next time, my green-thumbed friends.